Garcia. Sokolsky's going to that pitch a little bit more with runners in scoring position.
Great play by a terrific Duck defense, which was a very embattled unit on Friday night. Oregon made 3 errors in the first 4 innings, tied a season high for a game. Still a program record 980 fielding percentage though, and they're 1 out away from escaping this. The redshirt freshman McEnroe Marinas takes off the plate. Another wonderful Sooner hitter, Nellie McEnroe Marinas. It sounds even better against the rings on the hand. As always, there is a strong contingent of former Sooner greats here in the crowd, with the hardware to boot. A 4-pitch walk for McEnroe Marinas loads the bases. And Oregon is living on the edge here in the first.
This part, though, about walking Nelly is just that now your infield has a force at any base. Couple pitchers warming up for Oregon already. Double barrel action with Stacy Chambers, and looks like through the net, Lindsey Grine.
It is indeed Lindsey Grine on the right, the starter of the first 2 games. Won't be a long leash for Sokolsky today. Sydney Sanders, the only senior in the lineup for Oklahoma, finds herself thrust into the spotlight. An All-American 3 years ago at Arizona State. So some familiarity with this Duck program. Sanders does have a grand slam this year, one of her 56 career homers, 9th most among all active Division I players. Been a great head coach, and she has become one, but it was hard for Missy Lombardi to leave Oklahoma. It took the right fit, and Oregon for her was that right fit.
And that move for going to Oregon made a lot of waves in the softball universe, as she had been there for 2 decades. And I remember when I was in high school and getting recruited, and you would see the Oklahoma coaches, in particular Coach Lombardi and Coach Gasso, out. I would always get them so confused because they always looked so alike to me with their visors and their stature.
Paige Sinicki pops one up into left for the first out of the inning.
And we were just used to seeing them around the ballpark all together. And I would never know, okay, which one's who's who. Like, they just have that sisterly connection. Even when they're not together, you think of the other one when you see the other one.
Well, here's Patty Gasso, who in her first year in a new conference was the SEC Coach of the Year. And Missy Lombardi across the way, her first year in a new conference, was named the Big Ten Coach of the Year. So incredible success for these two, whatever program they've been at, whatever league they've been in. And now one of them is going to knock out the other from the World Series, but certainly there will be another embrace to come when this game is over. Kirsten Deal working against Emma Cox, who takes down and away. And here's another Oregon-Oklahoma tie. Emma Cox, who is the daughter of 2 former Oklahoma Sooners. Emma's father, Darren, was a baseball player at Oklahoma, was an All-American catcher, ended up getting a cup of coffee with the Montreal Expos, and mother Karen was a softball player at Oklahoma. So the connection from Norman to Eugene runs deeper than you might geographically think.
There are so many daughters of former players who were at this World Series. I was doing my prep, and I felt like I kept writing one after another. And Emma Cox was one of them with that OU connection.
And she's had a really good freshman year and been an on-base machine in the tournament with 9 walks to only 1 strikeout here in the NCAA tournament. Cox is a pitch away from either a walk or a strikeout now.
I think both of these teams are still trying to figure out the strike zone early in this game as Kirsten Deal gets to the bottom of the zone with that curveball. Remember, Emma Cox gets a great view with catching Sokolsky in this game to see. I feel like Deal's ball is really spinning well tonight, and it has this upspin to everything that Oregon's going to have to work to stay above as Emma Cox swings underneath that rise ball, a little bit lower in the zone. But Deal's spin looks good early in this game. She's getting Oregon to swing and miss and fly out 3 times already in this game with her rise.
And then peppers one to the bottom of the zone to Des Patman. Actually, the first pitch strike Deal has thrown in 6 batters. Patman dropped the spot in the lineup to 6. After the game Friday, Missy Lombardi said our athletes are just drawn to her, to Des Patman. And Oregon's got a home run, and that is one heck of an omen. The Ducks have not lost this year. 42 for 42 when they hit a home run.
That's wild. I mean, that stat is one that you have to be like, wait, are we sure that that one's right?
And in fact, we double checked it, we triple checked it, and it is right. And if the Ducks are going to get to 43-0, oh my, what a win that would be. Des Patman with the first hit, the first base runner of the game for Oregon. Just a few minutes after Oklahoma had loaded the bases with 2 outs at second and third, nobody out, but it's Oregon to cross home plate first. Slapped away foul now by Kaylin Jones.
Yeah, and Kirsten Deal had gone 5 up, 5 down the first 5 hitters that she faced with a couple of strikeouts, moving the ball around. But that's how quickly this game can change. We've seen some wackiness here at the World Series, and the games that we've seen this year can just turn on its head very quickly.
0-2 for the freshman Jones. And Oklahoma has now trailed every game of this World Series. In fact, they've trailed for most of the World Series. Trailed against Tennessee most of that game. Had the walk-off come from behind 2-out homer from Parker, and then trailed, never led against Texas, trailed most of that game too. Jones elevates the ball to left center on an 0-2 pitch. The freshman has another hit. She's now 15 for 31 here in the tournament.
Yeah, she's been a bright spot down at the bottom of the order for Oregon with her 4th hit at the World Series as she just stays on this curveball. 0-2 pitch, way too close to the plate. Kaylin Jones just says thank you as she allows Kirsten Deal to supply the power and shoots it the other way.
Stephanie Maake. I wonder now, how long will Patty Gasso's leash be for Kirsten Deal? Ideally, she'd love to get through this game without using Sam Landry, who's thrown now 30 of the 41 2/3 innings in the tournament for Oklahoma.
And both of these coaches just choosing to give a little bit of rest to their aces with Sam Landry at OU and then Lindsey Grine at Oregon. Just trying to see how deep into the game that their number 2 pitcher can go. Just trying to play the long game too, knowing that if you're trying to win a national championship, you're going to have multiple pitchers. You cannot just throw one pitcher every day.
To make it to the championship series, a reminder, these teams will need to win 3 games in 2 days. Texas Tech, who's off today, will need to win just 1 game tomorrow.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
1-2 for Maake, freshman from Salem, Big Ten all-freshman team. Pops a ball out of play. And there you have it, 7 Eastern, 6 local, 4 Pacific. Potentially noteworthy if you're a Duck fan. Texas Tech tomorrow night on ESPN. Starting to be that twilight shadowy time, which can make it even tougher on hitters. Ake chases one high. Jones was on the run on 1-2. How aggressive do you think Oregon will be on the bases today?
I think they'll be very aggressive with their speedier players, although Kalen Jones is there at first base, but hasn't run yet. I would be aggressive if I were them.
And is not running on this pitch. Make takes outside. Well, we saw Texas run a little bit on Oklahoma yesterday. First and third play for a steal of home. The Sooners have struggled. They've only caught 3 runners stealing this year, and Oregon's run mad. They're not going to get a chance here as Maake strikes out. But it's Oregon with the game's first run.
Des Patman is the type of hitter who feels like she can be successful no matter what has happened before. She struck out 3 times against Ole Miss, but makes the absolute most in her first AB in this elimination game against the 4-time defending champs to get Oregon on the board first.
4 in 9 games, 4 one-run games, a near 4-hour game. And Texas and Texas Tech staying above the fray are the 2-0 teams. The whole world, the whole softball world has been enjoying this party, including this fan who's got all 8 teams on the party nails. What's on the thumbs, I wonder?
Maybe the World Series logo.
Maybe. Think we're going to have an answer? Yes, we are. Just softballs. That is outstanding work.
In that package didn't even show the lights going out. Remember, before we even threw a first pitch, second base wouldn't fit into second base, went into the hole. I don't know what you actually call it, but.
And that was literally to start the World Series. We had a delay before Texas, Florida, because the grounds crew couldn't get second base into the ground. And then today, we all learned about our good old friend Appendix G.
Yeah.
There was an interminable review to figure out what the heck to do with that Megan Grant play, because nobody quite knew what to do. Tennessee challenged, as Elena Agbayani grounds one foul. Tennessee challenged that Megan Grant did not touch home plate, and it turns out she ended up touching it when Lefty Ramirez pulled her back. There was a long review, consultation with the NCAA. Such an important play to get right. And we ended up finding out that the play was not reviewable under Appendix G, which constitutes what plays are subject to video review. Tennessee went a little mad, as you figured they might, and it turned out they would win the game 2 innings later. But we just every day find something new and funny and hilarious and weird. And the great part about it all, man, it's all been during close, compelling games.
Yes, the games have been so good. I think I'm just going to start going to sleep and reading the rule book every night before bed. Just get about 5 pages in every night in the off season after this ends, and when I'm done with it, just go back through it again.
You're going to start that?
I'm sorry, I'm going to do it again for the 6th or 7th time.
That's exactly what I meant to hear. 3 and 2 for Agbayani. Elena Agbayani trying to lead off a rally in the Oklahoma second. (3-2) from Elise Sokolsky, slapped to left and caught by Kai Luchar. So Elise Sokolsky pitching with a lead against Oklahoma. Got a little bit of time in the regional last year. Remember, the Ducks played pretty well against an Oklahoma team that would win the national title. They lost 6-3 and 3-2, and that was not a great Oregon team last year. They were 31 and 20. 23 more wins this year. One away, here's Isabella Emmerling.
Well, you mentioned that regional, and it was Paige Sinicki who said, I remember leaving Oklahoma and being like, there is no way that I'm going to leave college without ever hosting a regional and just trying to go as far as we can. And so that motivation from being in Norman last year and losing to Oklahoma was what Oregon needed for this year, to grab a top 16 seed, to host a regional, and then even be able to host a super regional because Texas A&M lost in regionals. So it worked out in their favor that they got a big home field advantage to make it here in Paige Sinicki's senior year with this senior class. Polsky struggled with command early in this game.
That's a really big swing for Emmerling, who in SEC play this year was just 9 for 55, hitting 164. Missy Lombardi's going to come out and chat with Sokolsky. Say this though with Emmerling, 28 hits on the year. She doesn't get a lot, but she makes them count. That's her 12th home run, 16th extra base hit out of those 28.
And Bella Emmerling has so much power. Look at her stay in her legs, her extension toward the left side of the field. And this is Sokolsky looking at her teammates saying, that's my bad. And it's a missed pitch. You can feel it out of your hand, moved right into her swing. Bella Emmerling has so much power. We saw it last year when she was at North Carolina too.
Home run ball to the family. Somebody's going to get this Bella bomb. So a 1-1 game, and the Emmerling family could celebrate their first World Series home run. Just the third extra base hit for Oklahoma here at the World Series. Abby Dayton, number 9 hitter, shows bunt and takes low.
How nice is it to have a 12 home run hitter in the 8th spot if you're Oklahoma? Just so much power all throughout. One of the best home run hitting teams in D1.
Dayton over to first and mock it. Out number 2. Now this is such a deep, powerful lineup for Oklahoma, which has scored 51% of its runs via homer, the second best rate in Division I. And they've got the second most homers total, 118, only behind Ohio State. 2 down. Here's Cassidy Pickering. She's got 18 of them and unloads on strike 1.
Well, it's no surprise too, Kevin, that there's only been 5 games this season that OU did not hit a home run in. Majority of their game, you show up to the ballpark, you're going to see a long ball off their bats.
Now 55 out of 60. Right in there to Pickering, 0-2. In fact, yesterday was just the second game Oklahoma did not have an extra base hit this year.
Sokolsky has really good stuff. I just feel like she's missing just a little bit at times.
You know we love our Something's Gotta Give graphics here at the World Series. Oklahoma when Isabella Emmerling down at the bottom of the order homers, 10-0. It's a 2-for-2 start for Cassidy Pickering.
And so Kaylin Jones playing just a shade up the middle of the field, and because she's playing a couple of steps more towards second base, this is going to be a rangy play for her, and they just can't get the ball out of her glove. I think still she was able to get to that ball, had a chance to get her out, but couldn't make the transfer.
So that extends the inning for Ella Parker, who's ripping at the first pitch. A ground ball single her first time. Off speed strike from Sokolsky here. .12 for 25 tournament for the All-American Ella Parker. 6 extra base hits. Got off to a great start, then really slowed in SEC play, but she has come on like a house on fire in the last month or so. Parker pops it out of play. And she's done this all, Amanda, with a pretty serious lower leg injury that's caused her to wear a boot at times in the dugout before games. But she's been able to play through the pain. And not only play, but play maybe the best softball of her life.
And even as a sophomore, she is like a professional hitter. She can take a walk. She has the speed, even as she's battling that lower leg injury, as you mentioned. And I think she's just gotten comfortable with playing through the pain, because that's what Patty Gasso said. So as the season has gone on, she's just learned to deal with it. Even in between her at bats, she puts a boot back on.
Elise Sokolsky trying to work through a second inning where she's already allowed a run. And Lindsey Grine is ready and waiting if her number's to be called out of that Oregon bullpen. Watching from behind the fence, hoping.
Ella Parker in this at-bat did such a good job of fouling off down to where Sokolsky only had one option to try to go up with her rise ball, and Ella Parker just gets there with her barrel, line drive out to the right side of the field. Good piece of two-strike hitting. She battled in that at-bat to get Sokolsky to throw something else. Parker was a little hesitant with something down. She goes to the rise ball and gets Pickering all the way to third base.
She already has a steal in the game in a first and third situation. So from Parker to Barker, the freshman Sydney Barker takes a strike. 8 out of 12 first pitch strikes for Sokolsky, who does not have a strikeout. Is trying to get through 2 jams with only 1 run allowed. Left the bases loaded in the first. Always count on Oklahoma in these scenarios over the years, but they're 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position here in the World Series. Good swing by Barker, but it's 1-2. Sydney Barker very strong with runners in scoring position this year. About 70 points ahead of her regular average. She takes a changeup for ball 2.
I don't know where this missed. Maybe a little bit inside. We'll see where Cox frames this pitch. Number 2, Barker's in the back of the box, and that, or actually now she's in the middle of the box, but it looked like another one was going to fall on the left side, but Gabby Garcia got such a good read and stretch, and then the throw picked by Ilana Agbayani, who's a Gold Glove second baseman. His leg dove in and said she was off the bag as she motioned toward the Oregon dugout. Did she get her foot back in time?
Oregon will challenge it. Well, first Missy Lombardi is talking to the umpires, and if they don't reverse their on-field call, it appears then she'll call for a challenge.
To me, like, she got her cleat back in time, but I also want to see a couple of different angles.
The call on the field is out at second base. Oregon is challenging.
Now you're going to get your wish. Christy Cornwell, our rules analyst, could chime in here. Christy, what'd you see on this play?
Well, what they're going to be looking at is whether or not the fielder held her position on the bag. In my opinion, I think she got back in there, so I think the out should stand.
And you can see it's that left cleat. Great pick, too, to get possession of this ball right in the heel of the glove for Agbayani, who was the Rawlings Gold Glove winner for collegiate second baseman.
Think of this position that she's putting herself in, reaching across her body, worried about her foot. She's stabilized on her right hand. She's trying to keep the ball from moving in the heel of her glove, and yet she still gets her heel back on second base.
After review, the call on the field is upheld. The runner is out. Oregon's first challenge.
The athleticism on the field for OU and how quick they are, something that has stuck out to me all year long. So many new faces on the infield, yet the level of play on their infield and level of play with their defense still remains at such a high level. The Gabby Garcia reach to rob a hit, and then Agbayani helping out her shortstop with the throw to turn that into a double play was just pure athleticism.
Gabby Garcia is just going to be the next in a line of great shortstops, great infielders at Oklahoma. Only 3 errors on the year.
And I think that's a prime example of maybe why you go to the short game there, because Kedri Lushar pops it up, and yes, she has all these extra base hits, and maybe you don't just want to play for 1 run, but you risk that putting the ball in the air and turning into a double play.
Well, that's going to be the end for Kirsten Deal. 50 pitches in. Patty Gasso will turn to her ace, will turn to her All-American in the circle. It is Sam Landry time when we come back to OKC.
Bosew's pitch.
Well, she went the distance yesterday. And certainly Patty Gasso would have preferred not to use Landry today, knowing that if Oklahoma wins, they've still got to play 2 tomorrow. But Oregon was 4 for its last 6. Huge hitter coming up. She felt like this was the time to do it, clearly. And it's Landry against a fellow All-American in Riley McCoy. And it's a pitch timer violation against Landry. Okay, we hear from Chad Steers right there. We just told her you can't have your hands together for more than 5 seconds. So it's not a timer violation. It's a violation because Sam Landry had her hands together, not a violation of the clock. But we heard from Chad Steers, and Patty Gasso will talk it over with him.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard that called before. And you can tell that Sam Landry is very frustrated with that call, too.
That's probably an Appendix H.
Yeah, exactly.
So 2-1 to McCoy.
I think that's just going to make her a little bit mad and make her pitches a little bit more nasty in this inning.
Boy, I'd be a little worried if I was Riley McCoy with that look. The glare through the glasses. McCoy started to swing. Lushar's on the run. It was not a foul ball. It was a swing and miss. So Kai Lushar just stole her 60th base on strike 2.
Went to her changeup, back-to-back pitches, and Oregon, knowing that she wants to throw a lot of changeups and testing the arm of Emerling, going to go with the wheels into second base.
2-2 is up and in. Kai Lushar, Big Ten record 60 steals. She's just become the 15th player in Division I history with a 60 steal season.
Wow.
And she's at second for McCoy, who takes ball 4 to put 2 Ducks aboard again. Isabella Emerling out to the circle to talk with her new pitcher, Sam Landry. And there are indeed a couple of ducks on the pond for Paige Sinicki. Nikki has been the heartbeat of this Oregon team and one of the heartbeats of this program for 4 years running. And she's probably one of the shortest cleanup hitters in the country, at a listed 5'2". Don't let that fool you. She is 11 for 28 with 7 extra base hits and 7 walks in the tournament. By the way, she hasn't struck out. That's a 7-0 walk to strikeout ratio in the NCAA tournament. Landry's got her in a 1-2 hole here.
And Sam Landry loves to go to that changeup as much as she can. She told me that is her favorite pitch to throw. Has a ton of confidence in her changeup. And the thing about her changeup is that she can throw it through the zone and she can get you to chase it well out of the zone. Goes to it multiple times. Runner in scoring position, goes at the cleanup hitter with her best stuff, her best changeup. Gets Nikki out, and Sam Landry enters this game.
Worked around a lot of traffic. 2 innings, 5 hits, a walk, a strikeout, only the 1 earned run. So middle of the order, Gabby Garcia takes high from Grind. Lindsey Grind's 24th relief appearance of the year. And her 53rd appearance, period, the most in the nation. Garcia out of play for strike 1. Career high 9 1/3 innings for Grind on Friday night. And she faces a powerful part of the lineup here with Garcia, one of the leading home run hitters in the SEC.
One ball, 1 strike.
Garcia, McEnroe, Marinas, and Sanders against the 30-2 right-hander. He drops in an off-speed strike 2.
It's a great pitch with that changeup, as Lindsey Grind will mostly be up in the zone with her rise ball, and you have to be very careful with that rise ball. It's a high risk, high reward pitch, can get a lot of swings and misses, but it's also the pitch that can get hit out of the ballpark the easiest.
And she strikes out Gabby Garcia to begin her day.
And she'll work her rise ball on multiple different levels, all the way from the knees to the eyeball. She can throw it on both sides of the plate, has a lot of confidence in throwing an outside rise ball, even to right-handed hitters. And then we'll mix in her changeup. It can dive down. She'll throw that pitch through the zone as well. Those two pitches go hand in hand to give these hitters a different look as they try to settle in on her rise ball. And prime example there that just struck Gabby Garcia out.
232nd strikeout of the year. Lindsey Grind, the second most strikeouts in the Big Ten, 13th Division I into today, and that rise ball, Amanda, is typically the one.
And many of those strikeouts coming off of her rise ball that she'll throw almost 70% of the time. And look at how opponents entering this tournament hitting 176 off of her rise.
Ellie McEnroe Marinas walked on 4 pitches her first time. Cox wants time. Where's the C on her jersey? Is just a redshirt freshman. McEnroe Marinas learned from several of the great Oklahoma players of the last 4 years. Her freshman year, their senior year.
Always cause everybody to smile when you throw one well over your catcher's head, who stands at about 6 feet tall already and still can't reach it. Woo, right into your living room.
I think that one's going to be on the next re-tease. You're right there, Sax. So Lindsey Grind has now hit one of our fearless camera operators, and she's hit a clump of dirt. What can't she do?
Well, we're only in the third. You're going to have to see what happens. Can't wait.
She is having a ball out there right now, too. 1-2 for Oklahoma's 5-hitter. Down and away. But who has better aim than Lindsey Grine? This was 2 nights ago. That was a clump of dirt off of her cleat. I think the pitch was a strike, by the way.
Yes, it was. And then got dirt into Emma Cox's eyes, and we were all very confused because we didn't know this right when the pitch happened of why Emma Cox was going down. And then we had these amazing replays by our amazing crew and able to see it, and that pitch since has gone viral.
The greatest pitch into dirt at the greatest show on dirt. And Brian Sachs thankfully protected by a screen and a netting. I'm sure that gave you a jolt, though, didn't it? We have as good of a camera crew as you're going to find anywhere at this event. They are the real stars. There are stars on the field, and then we've got stars all over the field. We're here for these double-header days that feel like triple-header days sometimes, and these quadruple-header days that feel like quintuple-header days. So thanks to everybody with our crew who's put in so many long hours. It is a genuine labor of love for all of us to bring you this World Series now in its 43rd year. And this is not a scene that many folks who were watching 42 years ago could have imagined. This gorgeous stadium with a second deck. Not many empty seats tonight. Strike one to Sid Sanders.
When Oklahoma won their first national championship in 2000, that area down the left field line wasn't seats. It was just a berm to just go and lay a blanket out on, have a picnic, sit and enjoy. And now it is a double-decker where you can take a seat all down the line and all around the field.
Yeah, it was fun to see Patty Gasso reliving that video posted on the NCAA softball Instagram. You could see Patty's real wry, dry sense of humor on that. She was talking about the shorts and kept telling herself to stop chewing gum 25 years later, but there were fans packing the berm for the first of now 8 OU titles. Well, Lindsey Grine is throwing in relief. She's done now twice in the tournament. Did a couple of times down the stretch as well. She struggled out of the bullpen the last 3 outings. 10 earned runs and 7 innings in relief. Oregon needs 5 out of her in all likelihood tonight. That's upstairs, 3-2 for Sid Sanders.
And Sydney Sanders has such a good eye. That's a pitch that Lindsey Grine is used to seeing hitters swing at, but Sid Sanders just didn't even really flinch on it. So it started at a certain level and knew that that pitch was going to continue to run.
57th career home run for Sydney Sanders, who was a first-team All-American as a freshman at Arizona State, hit 21 that year, and is the only senior in this lineup. She can go through some really dry spells, but 2 things keep Sanders' bat in the lineup and keep her a fearsome presence. Her great eye, 43 walks to only 21 strikeouts, and her great power. And that power has put Oklahoma in the lead for the first time tonight. 1-2 for Elena.